So this is the Herb Chambers Audi location, formerly CN Wood from many, many years ago, as some of you might recall, it's the same location. But with me tonight are Kevin O'Toole, who's with Regent Associates, the architectural firm of record for the building, and also Stephen Higger, who is with Blair Image Consulting, the sign company. So we're here in connection with signage that's been proposed for the building at 62 Cambridge Street, and I think it's a building that you're all familiar with and probably drive by somewhat regularly. I did send over to Jen today kind of some updated visuals that we haven't changed the sign at all, but I thought we had some renderings that might be helpful to see with respect to the new facade as it's being built. But I don't know if you have those or if they were distributed.
If you have some copies, we can.
Yep, I brought this 5 copies here.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's like having a pair of cheetahs.
As the board may recall, this building was formerly both Audi and Porsche up until about 2 years ago. So obviously the Herb Chambers company's got approval to build the new Porsche building next door to the left, and that's been opened, and obviously Porsche is in there, and they have a sign on their building, which I think may have come before this board a couple of years ago for Porsche. But the Audi is now taking over the entirety of the remaining building. And if you look at sheet, you just follow along here, but if you go to sheet 4 of the, and these are double-sided, so it's sheet number 4 that it's called sheet call-out 201. You'll see the proposed sign as we're talking on the west elevation of the building. And you can see the new facade up at the top left. That is what the building is going to look like. Basically what is happening is Porsche was on the left-hand side of this building, and they had that curved feature to the building. And now the building is being squared off to be more in line with the Audi corporate appearance and everything else. So I thought this might be helpful to just show you here too. This was a photo of what the building did look like. You can see this is Porsche, and then on this side, that's where the rounded feature was, and obviously the new Porsche building is over here, and then this is the other half of the Audi building, which is remaining. Because you had both Porsche sign and Audi Burlington here, obviously Porsche sign no longer there, we're looking to move the sign up to the top to really complement the new architecture of the building. And it's more centrally located on the top, and size-wise, it's appropriate from our perspective in terms of being, complementary to the building, but not too overwhelming either. The signage is, with the rings are 3 feet 11 inches in height. However, the Audi and the Burlington that are adjacent to it are much smaller in stature. I believe that the height of those letters is 1 feet 8 inches, and that's actually the capital A and the capital B. I think a lot of the lowercase letters are actually smaller. So, as I know is customary, we've advertised this to be as if you were drawing a box around the rings, the Audi and the Burlington. So when we reference a length of 36 feet 3 3/16 inches, that's the entirety of that length going from where the rings are all the way over to Audi Burlington, the end of Burlington and the Audi Burlington. So that same size sign would also be located on the what would be the south elevation of the building as well, which is facing the ramp. And I have a photo of what's out there, or what has been out there, but this is that other side of the building. So again, if you're coming on Cambridge Street heading what would be northbound, this side of the building is what you would see as you're driving, and then there's the highway ramp here. So those signs were stacked previously with the rings over the Audi. However, as part of the new corporate image and design, which I think Steve can speak to, They are not looking to have those stacked anymore, but instead they would be, you know, on a longer platform. So that same side would be on that side of the building. And it's important to have signage on that side of the building as well, just because that's what folks are seeing as they're coming up Cambridge Street from the south, because it's a limited access highway as you're approaching it. So I think both signs, again, have been sized to be consistent with the architectural design of the building, and we think they're appropriate in scale. And I know that they, Steve, internally illuminated signs, and I believe that we've also shown on the renderings in the package kind of the nighttime view in terms of how they would appear. So they would all be compliant with the town's requirement of not exceeding 90 lumens per foot. And I think that's been noted on the plans as well. So be happy to answer any questions or address any comments you might have, but again, we would certainly appreciate your support of this. I know it's a building that, both of these buildings, I think, have come out, you know, quite well in terms of how they appear at this location, and I think the signage is appropriate for what we're talking about. So, thank you.
Thank you. Start with the board with questions. Jeremy?
Sure. You mentioned the replacing of the stacked signs.
Yes.
I believe you said on the south elevation. Do you know the size of those signs today?
I don't know the size exactly of what those are, to be honest with you. Just looking at it, I don't think our rings or the Audi would be any larger than what we're proposing. We would have Burlington as well as part of it, but I'm just, you know, again, looking at a...
If you don't mind, if we just take a look at those and
Yeah.
pass them around again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because there's only so much kind of wall space there, and I'm just trying to eyeball it in terms of what we're proposing in connection with that.
The right side's existing right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks,
This
same
is,
size, it's gonna be a little
that's the front
smaller.
sign. This is the sign that's going to replace that sign.
It's like it's just longer. Not as tall.
Almost identical. All in one panel.
Yeah, that's their logo anyway, so it's always going to be like that, but if, those are, the new one is the logo is 3 feet. The rings are 3 feet in height. I don't know how big they are there, because they're not, these aren't to scale.
Just going by the existing panels in the panel. The panels.
Yeah.
These panels are the same.
Yeah. Steve was just saying, I mean, roughly to the panel size, we think it's roughly the same in
Yeah,
terms of...
yeah, yeah.
They almost
If you look at the seams in the panel sizes.
You know, they do.
You can see that they're roughly this
Yeah,
comparable.
you can see that they're roughly about the same. Joe just pointed that out to me, yeah.
Okay. Consensus is that the rings are about the same size, is that what you're saying? Okay.
Pretty close. Well, the only thing you're adding to the south side, I think that is the Burlington.
And then you're stretching
Burlington's on the front,
Yeah,
right?
stretching it up.
Yeah, I mean,
Right, but
there is Audi Burlington on the front. I think we're, you know, trying to be consistent with that from both directions. And
Yeah, so the existing Burlington sign in the front right now is being relocated over here, because you're redoing that facade
Actually,
in the front.
that would be relocated to the top of that.
Top right here.
Well,
The rings will probably stay in the same spot. They would just add Audi Burlington to the right of it.
Burlington going that way, yeah.
Yeah,
But this Burlington's coming
that's
up.
that's
Yeah, that
going away.
Burlington, you
Yeah,
have to go.
that one's going away, right, the lower one.
because it's all going up to the other corner.
All right. Any other questions?
I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
So, Mark, how many signs are there
It would be,
in the package?
so what's part of the application before you are the 2 wall signs. So one on the west elevation, which is the front facade facing Cambridge Street.
Right.
And then same size, it would be on the south elevation facing the ramps. There's other signage as well that was submitted as part of the package, but it was all compliant signage under the bylaw. There's like a sign above the service entry that just says Service Drive. There's some small monument signs that are more for wayfinding in terms of directing people where to go and things like that.
Now, is that the total of all the signs?
Yeah, this,
In that particular building, or?
that's correct, yeah. This package here reflects all of the signage for the building and the site, including the freestanding signage. Yeah.
That's correct.
Do you mind if I jump in for a
Yeah,
second?
go right ahead.
Just a question on that. So all the other signs are already on the building and, or at least approved through the building inspector?
Yeah, so I don't think that I don't think the other signs that are in this package that you were referring to have been installed yet, but they will be installed as part of the new rebuild of the front facade. So,
But everything that is going to be on the building is in this package?
correct, yes.
Sorry. Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Joe?
No, I'm good too.
No, I think that, those two signs, I like the way they look, and I think the size is appropriate. Glad that everything's in here, because I had some of those same questions, and it looked a little confusing when, we were looking at all the different paperwork, but seems to make sense now. So, if there are no other questions from the board, I think we'll open it up to the public. If anybody's here to speak for or against this application, please come up to one of the microphones. Seeing none, there's a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other comments, questions?
I like it.
Yeah, I think it looks good too. I appreciate the day and the night views as well. It
Yeah.
gives us a good idea.
Well, before we go, I want to ask you a question. How come when you do these drawings, they're not done to scale so we can see really what they're going to look like? Why we're not second guessing ourselves?
Well, actually, that is one of the reasons why we modified the package that we just submitted today, and that would be part of what you approve right now. If you do look at page 4, we realized after we submitted it that it was showing the older facade and not the full facade, but if you look at that sheet 4 I was talking about, we do show the dimensions of that roof line now that goes above the window, Mr. Sullivan. So, again, this is that sheet 201, but you can see that it's 8 feet from the glass to the top of the building. And our rings are 3 feet, 11 and 11/16 inches in height. So I think you can kind of extrapolate that. And so that photo at the top now, that, has the landscaping and all that, that is to scale in terms of how it would appear. I mean, there's some visual liberty that's obviously taken, but I think that reflects,
Yeah, this part's in scale.
yeah.
So if you look at this and compare it with that, you can see how it lines up with the mullions and everything. So
Yeah.
it's roughly a scale.
Yeah, that's what we had to do that. We did that. And
Okay.
Yeah.
I was asking you why you do it that way. If you did it to scale, it would never be a question. I don't understand why, is it any
I
harder?
think that's just on the large elevations because of what happens during construction as a matter of course. Unless we supplied with the drawings, I don't know if we were or were not. We tend to leave it off. But if you look at the close-up, that part is in scale. So that,
Yeah, we figured that out. We figured
Yeah.
that out. That's, and I think it's a good sign. It's a good looking sign. I got no problems with it. I'm just curious.
You want to take a crack at a motion?
Make a motion to approve a special sign permit, the 62 Cambridge Street, pursuant to the sign package that was submitted, dated February 10th of 2023. The wall signs on the west elevation and the south elevation. The lighting not to exceed 90 lumens per square foot, and no other signs, even if by right.
Second.
If I could, you may, what we just submitted has a revision date on it, if you wanted to just make sure that
Okay,
it was.
Oh, yeah, 3-3.
Is it? Thank you.
Yep.
March 3rd of 2023 is the revision date on the plans submitted with the application.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve 2 wall signs for Audi Burlington, one on the west elevation and one on the south elevation, as shown on plans submitted with the application, sheets 1 through 10, dated 3/3/23, with the conditions do not exceed 90 lumens per square foot lighting, and no other sign, even if by right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Sorry to drag you out for one hearing today.
Been the longest meeting we've had in the last few.
We've been there a couple times with no meeting.
Thank you.
All right, what else do we have on the agenda?
We have the minutes.
Everybody get the minutes from February 21st?
Yeah.
Your motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes for February 21st.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes for February 21st, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye. Is that 35?
No other, is there any other business?
We'll do 55.
Other business down there.
Is there
I didn't hear you.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, second.
motion has been made and seconded to adjourn? All those in favor?
Aye.